Stand clear.
100% Wild podcast.
So for all you listeners,
hello and welcome to
definitely not your favorite outdoor podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Drury Outdoors 100% Wild podcast, episode number 271. Today, it's Mr. Matt Drury.
It's Mr. Tim Shelsvik.
We're fancy.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
Well, we're actually talking fishing again. We had Kevin Van Dam on a few episodes ago, and we've got
no big deal.
We've got another fishing related guest.
Yeah, so this is a pretty interesting story. So this guy, his name's Jimmie Powell. He reached out to us probably a year or two ago, and he's had this interest in the hunting side. And him and his son Isaac, they've been going on hunts, and he's, I think, originally from the Georgia area, but he bought a farm in Iowa, and they had moved to Iowa, and his son's with him, hunting and fishing and doing all things outdoors, and the kid's just in love with it. Mm-hmm. So he had a very unique situation last year. He took his son all summer long on a trip through all 50 states, all 50. I believe I got this right. And they fished every state in the union. So I wanted to have Jimmie on to tell us all about this. And then I want to joke a little bit because I'm sure it would have cost about 10 times more this year with gas prices.
Geez.
So without further ado, Jimmie Powell, what's up, man? Thanks for jumping on and taking us through the story here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So how did you guys come up with this harebrained idea to go across the country? And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you guys even hit Hawaii and Alaska as well?
Absolutely, right. Isaac started out with on YouTube. That's where he got the idea. Mm-hmm. And I think the camera guy actually did a little 3-minute long clip of Isaac doing his dedication to the summer trip. He hit me with it and said, "Hey, why can't we fish 50 states?" I was like, "Well, why can't we? Let's do it. Let's make it happen." The story with Isaac and I, he lives in Wisconsin, and I was living in Georgia at the time, full time. So we only got to see each other during the summer anyway. So okay, well, let's make this the epic summer. Let's put it together and get it going. And so that's what we did.
Super dad.
So how did you lay this out? Cause I'm thinking
logistics,
flights or rental vehicles. And then are you hauling your boat? How did you handle all that?
So, gosh, I didn't sleep for probably a week thinking about that. So we came up with the idea of let's just buy a toy hauler, hook it to the truck and just pull it to all 50 states. And who wouldn't want to travel and camp in all 50 states anyway? So this is a chance to, hey, let's visit 50 states, let's fish 50 states, let's catch fish in 50 states, let's just make an adventure. So I went up to Wisconsin to visit him and visited a couple of the RV dealerships and found one that we liked. Obviously, we couldn't pull the RV and the boat, so we went with kayaks. And the kayaks that we just threw in the back of the toy hauler and parked wherever we needed to and throw them in the back of the truck, get down to the lake. But it actually ended up being a lot easier than I thought. There was a week of wasted sleepless nights that I didn't have to go through. I felt it was way easier than it kind of sounds.
At what point did you realize that you could not drive to Hawaii?
Somewhere in Miami.
You're on the wrong side to begin with.
We're doing 49 states.
I would have made it to California and thought, shit, whoops, I'm not making
There's
this.
No bridge out here?
49 it is. So, it's one thing to come up with the dream. It's one thing to buy the RV and get the kayaks, but the logistics of actually, surely you guys sat there and you did figure out, okay, what's the best path to get, is there a scenic route? Is there, what's the best path to hit every single one to be the most efficient with your time?
Well, I guess we're sort of the fly by the seat of your pants type anyway. Uh-oh. We had trips planned in Wisconsin. We had a place to fish there. 2 days later, people were inviting us to come to their place in California, in Oregon, in Texas, within 2 days of leaving Wisconsin. Well, that was definitely not going to happen. So we just said, well, wherever we are, that's where we'll fish along the way. We'll just take the most direct route around the country. And at first it started out, well, Isaac says, well, let's just catch a fish. I think catching a bass in every state would be, pretty difficult. However, the very first morning in Wisconsin, he caught his first bass. We were loaded up on lunch, and gosh, that evening we were fishing in Illinois. We were fishing that evening, and he caught his second bass in the same day.
Okay.
So, now it became a bass fishing trip throughout the summer versus just a fishing trip. So, and like I said, it got easier. The next morning, we're in Indiana, and then I think when we got to the Northeast, some of those states we were able to hit 3 to 4 states in a day. We just took it by the seat of our pants, and wherever we ended up, that's where we fished.
I can picture like you catch a fish and then you throw it back in, you run and you jump in. You're all right, we gotta go.
Yeah, was that what you guys did?
No, I mean, there are lots of people who come along for support, and guys will come and say, hey, you found a fishing spot, and they want to talk for a little while and barbecues and have some lunch and meet us over here for some ice cream, and then we load up and take off to the next place. So it's not like we spent a lot of time in each state, but we spent enough time in each state to get to know someone.
I don't know why, but I keep picturing the vacation, Chevy National Lampoon Vacation, the first one when they're going to Wally World, and they're at the Grand Canyon. He just robbed that place, and so he's like, she wants to take a picture. They want to take a family picture, and Chevy just like, he's like, all right, we gotta go. Like all right, we're here. Take a picture. Let's go.
Yeah, immediately I'm thinking Jimmy is a better dad than I am, because I'd be like, all right,
Chevy Chase,
we did it. Like, let's get out of here. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'd be trying to make the best time everywhere.
So I'm curious, like after 50 states, what were some of your go-to baits that you're like, okay, this is, a Texas rig worm, or like what were some of your standards?
And were you using a Zepco?
Man, you're asking
question.
For it, man.
Just
the Zepco 33 and the Rooster Tail is my go-to.
Hey, man.
And it stayed in the truck the entire time. I didn't fish. I don't know a lot about fishing. Isaac fishing.
See, Jimmy, you're not helping me. I got the last podcast. It said I got killed on social media because I had a Zepco in hand and everybody just slaughtered me for being a novice fisherman. And then you just said you don't fish much. That doesn't help.
Not good at it. I don't know anything about it. And that's why I use a Zepco, folks. Okay.
All right, moving on. Sorry to cut you off.
So you said a rooster tail?
Right. The Zepco 33 and the Rooster Tail is what I grew up on as far as fishing, and it caught lots and lots of bass. However, you can't talk Isaac into using a push button or a rooster tail.
It's too sophisticated.
Other fancy baits. He watches too much Kevin Van Dam. So
Yeah.
Everything Kevin Van Dam had.
Kevin ruins everything.
And, but I did learn a lot. I learned a lot from watching them fish and the other guys who came with their input. Our camera crew were avid fishermen, and they helped us along a lot.
Sure.
Scott is more of a boat type person. He's not a canoe guy. So whenever we got to bigger lakes, they always want to rent a boat. We drive a boat. Okay, well, fine. Let's do it. And added a different twist to the adventure, and worked out great. And so like I said, I can't complain a lot about the gear we use. As far as my go-to, just leave me on the banks of the grill and get back, grab a bite to eat, let's roll.
Yeah,
sounds pretty good to me.
What was your biggest bass from the trip?
I think they were catching 8-9 pounders out of Texas.
Jeez.
So how did you guys identify the body of water that you wanted to go fish in? I mean, is that something that you were getting advice on social media, or the people that were inviting you, or you would pinpoint, hey, this is on the way, or hey, there's a lake, let's stop here?
A little bit of both. Few invites from individuals on social media. You invite from, there's several apps that we were using that identify fishing spots. So several of those. And friends, when we rolled up into Missouri, I believe it was Adam Anderson, advised us to a couple places. We actually went in Michigan. We actually fished in Kevin Tegdale's backyard in his personal farm and caught fish. So like I say, just the apps and individuals reaching out on social media. And therefore, there were places, like I say, in Georgia. I don't know if you remember the Rock Dwayne Johnson posted his catches of the bass on Instagram, and we were trying to make it to fish in his pond with him. And however, we have a place in Georgia as well, right around our house, our personal farm, and that's where we ended up fishing.
Okay.
Come on, Rock.
So yeah, it's lots of options throughout the entire country.
Rock's always pulling out like giant bass out of his, like huge.
Right.
I'm not familiar with largemouth fishing in Alaska or Hawaii. In fact, I didn't even know if they had populations of largemouth up there.
Right. So Alaska don't have a wild population of largemouth bass. So when we got to Alaska, it was like, well, we'll just spend time in Alaska and just catch whatever we catch.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up meeting this guy at the bait shack just outside of Anchorage. And this guy found out what we were doing, and he dropped everything. And the truck weather drove around. The next day we got with him, and we caught more fish in Alaska than we did in 3 years of fishing.
Really?
Nice.
I can't even tell you what else species that we caught in Alaska. That it was very, very welcoming there. And we actually had the natives. I guess it's something, a silver salmon or something like that was in season or in the run. And Isaac would catch one, and his intent would be to let it go. And you had guys coming back and were like, no, don't let the fish go. We want that fish. And they were getting the arguments over the fish because Isaac was going to let the fish go.
That's cool. Yeah, catch and release is a different
right
there.
So what, I'm just thinking of just the general, getting the right license in each state. How did you guys go about that? Because a lot of them, there's apps to get, Missouri Department of Conservation, you can get everything on an app. Like, how'd you go about doing that side of it?
Right. Okay. So you can get a 1 day, 2 day, 3 day fishing license in a state, which is easily done online.
Mm-hmm.
However, as a minor, which is what Isaac was going through on that trip, he didn't require a fishing license in most of the states.
Awesome.
So that ended up being very, very easy. However, the states that he did, these ones were able to get it.
The one area you saved money.
Right.
Hey, I saved $5 on my fishing license.
Can't afford not to go.
Right.
Jimmie, kids grow so fast, and to spend a whole summer with your son doing this is just incredible. And I'm wondering if you saw any growth or change in him and how he was a different young man from the beginning as opposed to the end of the experience.
Absolutely. If you ever get a chance to watch the dedication that he did to the trip, it speaks for itself. I think we're on the road just a little over 8 weeks, and I think I learned more in that 8-week period than he did actually. He was definitely the more mature one during the majority of the trip. All the cussing and screaming and yelling was all right here. However, like I said, I learned more from him and the patience, and just watching him have fun. That's what the trip was all about, was to have fun. And that's what took place.
I mean, I think how special, because, as you say, you get your summers with them. You guys live, how many states apart, how many miles apart. And I can't imagine the memories for him that summer, I'm sure every summer's special, but that summer has got to stick out forever for him. And for you to be able to do that with him and for him, I mean, that's truly something special as a father. Everybody would love to be able to do something like that, especially if you're not getting to see him on a daily basis. Like, that's a true memory. It's a 3-month, 4-month set of memories every day. That's pretty awesome.
Right. Well, thank you. And what I learned is there's several species of fish just in a state, and a lot of times within a region of a state. And about halfway through, I asked Isaac, well, why didn't we just concentrate on the 8 species in Georgia? Or why didn't we do, like the 5 species of catfish in Georgia or something? Why do we have to jump on, 50 states? And his response is, well, we have time, why not? And I thought about it, why not?
Why not?
We have time, and Dad, you've got the paycheck, so
why not?
Let's roll.
Yeah, one day he'll be like 40 and he's got kids. He's like, holy shit, how did Dad do this? Why not? Now I know the answer. Why not?